In the fabled land of Northern California, nestled in the Valley of Sacramento, two friends begin a journey to enlighten the world about their experience living life as a Xennial. But what is a Xennial, you may ask? If you wish to know, then follow them on their adventures.
Welcome to the Xennial Chronicles. This is James.
This is Mike.
And well, it's been a bit since you heard from us. We took a week off. And there were some reasons. I know Mike put out a video. I will admit something to you, Mike.
Yes.
You sent me links to watch the video.
Yes.
I never did.
Wow.
But I'm going to tell you why I never did.
I am shocked.
Reason number, are you really?
Yes. You normally watch, you give me a thumbs up, you do all the things.
I do. And I'm going to give you some reasons why. Number one, we had multiple reasons why we both kind of decided not to do the podcast last week, record last week and have something available for you. One of the reasons what did have to do with the fact that both of us did have a lot of things go on in that previous week.
Yeah.
I don't know everything that was going on with you, but I was very busy. I'm still getting used to the mentality and the physicality of working away from the home. Because I believe I announced on here, I believe we announced that I did finally get a job, not in the field I went to school for, but in a field that I have ample experience in, ample enough that within like 3 days of me putting in the application, they hired my ass because they're like, oh, this guy's done this for this many years.
Yeah,
screw it, we're grabbing him. But that was one of the reasons, and then there was also the reasons of it was very close to a national holiday that, you know, it's a difficult national holiday to talk about.
Yes,
and that's
very much so.
I think that's all we need to say about that. And it was also close to something happening in our own state of California. There was a recall election happening, and it was very close to that. And we have touched a little bit recently on semi-political stuff. We've touched on things that have been made political but shouldn't be made political. We're looking at you, mask wearers and non-mask wearers. And actually that's part of the point with what I'm going to say in a moment about what little I'm going to say about the recall election. But that was one thing that it was so present in the minds of many Californians. I know in mine, I'm pretty sure in yours, from what I know of you.
Yeah. And
so it was one of those things that, again, we wanted to be careful not to let some of that emotion come out and talk about those things more than they needed to be. So the one thing I'm going to say about the recall election, you can give your commentary to, is I'm just glad that there was no recall that happened, and not for political reasons as much as for stability reasons. Right now we are still the nation. Yeah, the nation and our state, especially the northern part of California, is the hotbed right now for the new Delta variant in the pandemic. We need to keep stability in the leadership, and we need to have, if we're going to have an election to get new leadership, we need an appropriate and proper election, not the kind of circus show that a recall election is. And that's the thing, is give us a real election, give us the real ability to have real candidates discuss real things, and not have a situation where the recall happens and whoever gets the highest number of votes, not who gets the majority of votes, but who gets the highest number of votes is suddenly the new governor.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's not an appropriate political process. That's not an appropriate process to ensure stability through what is still a freaky time. A regular election where you actually have somebody who gets the majority of the vote to get the office, especially the office, such a big office like governor, or even if we were to talk about something like bigger offices, which wasn't part of the recall, but like the President of the United States type office, we need to make sure to have an appropriate election to do that, especially during times of craziness. So
yeah, I mean, I will say this, if I could sidebar for just a minute. It's just funny that you didn't watch the video, because one of the things that I did state was that with what was going on, what was coming up, and everything else that we had been talking about, we don't tend to necessarily shy too far away from political conversation. I feel like we kind of keep that on our sleeve a bit, like without diving deep into it. We're somewhat cryptic, I would say, but I did mention that in the video. So it's I think that people know what to expect with us. You know what I mean?
I agree. And then that comes to the second reason why I didn't watch the video. And that second reason is when Mike says to me, all right, I'll make a video because we're missing the day. We're at a point that we've done this long enough. I have complete and utter faith that whatever Mike puts in the video is going to be perfect.
Oh,
it's
thank you.
Perfect. It's going to give all the information. And I'm glad that I'm revealing this to you, because me saying this stuff and you saying that, yeah, that was kind of the information I said. Exactly. Mike knows exactly what to do.
Yep.
He does them perfectly. And so you sent me a video. I'm like, okay, he made the video. I knew he would make the video, and I trust that he made a perfect video. I shouldn't have any commentary, because every time he makes one, they're perfect. I have no issue with them.
I appreciate that.
See, you thought it was just going to be James was lazy. No, James actually has a huge amount of faith in you.
Thank you.
And believes that you're always going to do the right thing in those situations. So it's been a while since you've heard from us, and of course things have happened. Lots of things have happened. But I'm going to talk about, since we have been a lot of very serious of late. I'm going to have another discussion here where it's about some fun things that happen that irritate Mike. and it irritates Mike because I'm purposely sending Mike pictures of these things.
Oh my God, you're driving me nuts, you guys. I swear to God.
And it's so much fun. One of the fun things I do have is to occasionally send messages to Mike just to kind of give him shit and irritate him, because I do that anyway to people. I had it was yesterday, in fact. We were sitting around having lunch, myself, my wife, and the grandmother who lives in the house. We were having lunch, and the grandmother, of course, every day she has to talk to us about the weather. Like, we don't have apps on our phone that tell us what the weather is going to be. She needs to inform us like she's the oracle of information for the weather. And we would know nothing, because she watches the morning news. So she's the oracle of information. It's like, yeah, we have apps on our phone that tell us that. And those apps are also, the phone's also linked to our fitness bracelets that we wear that also tell us the temperature. And
I got a new fitness bracelet too that's actually pretty badass. I love it. Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, I may share some of that information. Not right now.
Get you moving around. Yeah, maybe get you moving around a little more. Walking.
It is. There's a couple of things I've done.
I did like 15,000 steps 2 days ago. That's 5 miles worth of walking. 15,000, 5 miles worth of walking.
Dude, you got me beat by a landslide. Like, I've got a personal goal set of like maybe 6,000. I barely hit that because I got a desk job.
I do that every day.
Well, you also have 3 kids.
That's when I'm not
and you're
at
taking
home.
care
That's
of
when
everything.
I'm
Yeah, understood.
That's
that
when
would
I'm
make
working.
sense.
But I have a job where I actually do spend time on. I do actually go out walking as part of my job.
I think you're going to actually see quite a bit of progress in your weight loss journey due to this job, if you aren't already seeing it.
I've seen a lot. I'm at a plateau point where my body's at a really good homeostasis. It's where it's a weight that I was at for many years. In fact, it was when your previous band was doing its stuff. It's roughly the weight I was at during that period of time.
Oh, okay.
And I was at that weight for like 6-7 years.
So your body's used to that weight.
Yeah, so I've gotten back down to that, and I'm having trouble going past that.
I have a certain weight that I sit at that it just, my body will refuse to go under.
Yeah, it's like my body's like, no, you can actually eat a little bit more at this weight, and like, with your current activity level, we stay right here, we're good. And it's like, I know, but I want it to be a little.
You have to, breaking that is such a fucking challenge too, man. It really is.
I've been within like a 5 pound kind of movement, from you tend to fluctuate around a 5 pound mark. I'm in a 5 pound range, and I've been that way for like a month and a half, almost 2 months, because I can't break free from this.
Isn't it frustrating too? Like, it's the most frustrating thing.
So frustrating, because like, it doesn't matter. I've even tried like having a day where I just or having like 2 or 3 days where I just like hork a bunch of food thinking that it's going to change it. And it like the scale goes up a pound, and it's like, fuck.
Yep.
Come on. And then I have days where I have like 3 days where I eat nothing and the scale doesn't move at all. It's like, come on, body, listen to me. So it's one of those things. But anyway, so the grandmother is telling us about the weather and talking about the fact that it might rain, which it did a little bit last night here in Northern California. It did get some rain. And she's talking about the fact that it might rain. Well, about a week ago, it rained one day when I was overnight. And a little bit in the morning, and as I was waking up in the morning to get ready for work, I noticed that it was raining, and I was like, oh crap. The vehicle I drive to work, I know that I need to replace the wipers on it because one of the wipers, like the rubber, the bottom rubber part that actually touches the window, right? So it was only being held on to the wiper by about a 2-inch piece in the middle.
Oh God, I know how that.
And the top half of that bottom blade was up on the windshield. The bottom half was down on the windshield, and I'm like, yeah, that's not going to work.
No,
in
that's
the rain. And so I had to take the wife's car to work that day. I had to apologize to her and take her car. I try not to take her car anywhere. The only time I drive her car is when we're like both going places together, and it's usually if we're going to an area she's not as familiar driving. Otherwise, she drives because it's her freaking car. I get that. We bought it to be her car, so I'm not gonna. It's better than the cars that I drive. We're waiting still to buy my car. But it's her damn car. I'm not taking her car away from her. But I had to be like, I'm sorry, I have to take your car today. It might rain again, and I have no wipers, but I will be buying wipers. And so I bought wipers that week. And so this weekend was coming up, and I was, like, okay, it might rain again. The rain's possibly coming in the forecast. So I changed out the wipers the other day without telling anybody. I just went and did it. And so yesterday we're sitting around having lunch, and the grandmother's, oh, it's going to possibly rain. It's going to possibly rain. And so since it is my wife's car, I decided to give my wife a little bit of shit. And I'm like, yeah, probably be good for somebody to change out the wipers on their car. Make sure they put the new wipers that I bought on their car. And my wife's just like, yeah, probably would be a good idea. I said, yeah, you might want to get on top of that. You don't know if it might rain or something.
This is
and she's walking in and out of the
terse conversations,
walking in and out of the kitchen and whatnot. And see, I want to explain to everybody. I would only do this to give her this shit if I had already done the wipers, because I would never, call her out for something that needs to be done in front of another person. If there's something there's a task that I think that she needs to do, or something that, work that needs to be done or whatever, I tell her privately, just like she tells me privately. She's not going to yell at me from the kitchen when a bunch of people are in the living room. You need to take the garbage out now. It's one of those things that, like, hey, garbage is full. If you haven't noticed, you need to take it out. And it's a whispered thing. You don't call each other out in front of people unless you're giving the person shit and they know it. And so the grandmother's like, ooh, kind of giving that face. And then as the wife walks out of the room, I tell the grandmother, this would be, maybe mean if it wasn't for the fact that I had already put all the wipers on, and I'm just giving her shit about it. And the grandmother starts laughing. And I'm like, so you're going to, so I'd say to the wife, so you're going to get on that? You're going to get it done? Why? You've already done it. What?
Oh shit.
I know you've already done it. How do you know I've already done it? Because you wouldn't say this if you hadn't already done it. I'm like, damn it, she knows all my tricks. We've been around long enough that she, that she, we've been together long enough. She knows my tricks. She knows what I'll do, how I'll do it. And she also knows that I'm just giving her shit. And that's what I do to everybody. And again, I know the subjects I can give people shit about. Your lack of a soul, for instance.
Understood. Yeah.
Your resemblance to Chuck Norris, those kinds of things.
I'm looking like that right now. I need to shave.
And some people don't get them. People in the know get them, and I don't care, because the only person I care about whether they get the joke or not is the person I'm giving shit to. That's the person I want to get the joke, because it's one of those. That's a shared joke between us. It's funny for us. I don't care if other people don't find it funny. I find it funny. You find it funny.
Yeah,
that's the most important part.
Exactly.
And so, again, one of my fun things is to give Mike shit. We've been friends for way too long, and he's one of the people that's just, it's fun to, and keep in mind, he attempts to do the same with me. It's just, I don't know, I guess it's a little harder with me. I don't take to it well enough. I don't know. Is that it?
I can't necessarily say. It depends on how awake I am when I'm actually trying to do it.
that makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
But anyway, we did our normal shopping trip a couple weeks ago. Because we do this, we have the wife and I have our Friday and Saturday date nights, and this is a night where I had gotten a bonus from work.
Nice.
Interestingly enough, it's a bonus that my work is offering for anybody that is vaccinated, because technically we are healthcare workers. And so
Yes.
our job is giving us a bonus for being vaccinated, which is awesome. So I had a little bonus money, and being that I just started working, my wife was insisting that, hey, this is your bonus money. You need to do something nice for yourself with the bonus money, because I do things nice for myself. I buy things for myself occasionally. I don't deprive myself. For years I did, because we didn't have a lot of money, and I will admit my wife did too. We both kind of deprived ourselves of the things we wanted, because we wanted to make sure we got the things that our kids wanted and our kids needed. That was more important to us. We're not telling everybody else to be that way. That's just who we were as people. The last few years we've been doing better financially, so we've been able to indulge on a few things, and even in the last year we've done even better. So she's indulged buying me things, which is not normal, because I don't normally let people buy me things, and I've indulged buying a few things. I bought I did buy a new football cap, a new 49er cap as my game day watching cap. Admittedly, it was on sale for like $15, so I got a good deal on it, and it was one I'd been looking at for like 3 years, which is how most things typically happen. But I've indulged a little, and recently, of course, we've talked about this on the podcast. I've had a new obsession with a specific clothing item. Do you recall what that clothing item might be, Mike?
Yes, I can.
What's that clothing item?
I hate being quizzed on this. Crocs, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have my obsession with Crocs, which, again, for people who don't know, quick primer, I bought cheap ones at the Dollar General.
Oh my God, you're giving a backstory.
I love the cheap ones at the Dollar General, so I bought online some real Crocs to see if the real Crocs were as good as the cheap Crocs. They were even better. I fell in love. This is not a shoe I intended to fall in love with. This is also one of those things that I didn't spend 3 years wanting, like I did with this one hat that I recently bought, or the when I bought an Xbox One, for instance, on one of those Black Friday Christmas deals and whatnot 2 years ago. I had been waiting for like 6 years to buy an Xbox One. Like, from when it came out till 2 years ago, I had been waiting to buy one, and every year I couldn't come up with a good enough reason to buy one, so I didn't. I spent that much time waiting, and I do this. I spend usually a large amount of time when I see something in a store I like. When I see something in a mall, I was in a mall last night, and I saw some Funkos that were Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes right on top of each other too. Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes Funko Pops in this store. And for those of you who don't know, I'm a huge G.I. Joe fan, and Storm Shadow was my favorite. Even though he was the bad guy for a while, he became a good guy later. But Storm Shadow was my favorite. Just the name, Storm Shadow. That's a badass name. Most people love Snake Eyes, and that's fine. You can love Snake Eyes because he's cool too. But Storm Shadow's a better name. That's just a fucking cool name. Like, hi, I'm Snake Eyes. Okay, well, he wouldn't say that because he's mute. But still. I mean, Snake Eyes, cool name. That's great.
Right.
But like, dude comes up and like, I'm Storm Shadow. That's like, okay, you're going to fuck some shit up. All right. I like that name. So, anyway.
Fair.
I saw those and I'm like, those are cool. I want those. And the wife's like, go ahead, get them. I know you want them. They're like, those are your favorite characters from G.I. Joe. Get them. I'm like, I don't know if I want to spend them. I'm going to think about it. And we walked around the mall, and it was a big mall too. It was the one in Roseville. That big one. We walked all the way around it, bottom floor, top floor. And before we left, she goes, so do you want to get those? Nah, I'm going to get them. I do that a lot. I do a lot of thinking. I very rarely do like major impulse buys.
I'm kind of the same way with that.
Yeah.
Unless it is something that I know I've been hunting for, like I have to legit be hunting for it, and that's the curse of a collector too. Like, I collect shit. Yes. I collect. There's the whole collecting of. I do a little bit of collection of movies, TV shows, and shit like that when I see them. But more than anything, my wife and I collect the hell out of video games, especially ones that we remember as kids. And we just did a run. This reminds me very much of a run that we did. I don't mean to like hijack your conversation.
Go.
Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, we had made a promise because my wife is very much into horror video games, especially the classic stuff. We have all the old Resident Evil games. We have, I think, the entire series now, the Resident Evil series, at least one iteration. I bought the Uncharted series, which I've never even played before. I was always very interested in it, that kind of stuff. But there was a set of PlayStation 2 horror games. No, were they PS2 or GameCube? I can't remember. They were one or the other, but they were exclusive. They're especially like Japanese psychological horror games that were translated and brought to the US. Can't remember the titles of them. All I remember is it was like $250 for like 3 total games. Used games, by the way. And they were so sought after and so rare and so well made. But she especially is very much into horror games, especially psychological horror games, stuff that puts you puts things on, turns things on its head, kind of a deal, so to speak.
So just, I mean, you do realize I want to make sure that you have.
And we have purchased games that cost $150 for a disc only copy.
Okay. Now hold on, real quick, Mike. I just want to make sure you do have an understanding. You know, if you were to mysteriously die one day, I would so believe that the serial killer switch got flipped in your wife. That it finally got flipped. Because she's one of the few people that I consider a kindred spirit that I could totally see being a serial killer. And she would, like me, totally get away with it. Totally get away with it.
Oh, for sure, she would. Yeah, she would.
That's part of our bonding. That's part of the bonding kindred between her and I. Is the fact that I think she knows that I have that serial killer lurking in me, and I know she has it lurking in her, and we know that about each other.
So it's
I believe.
Well, this is one can only hope.
Somebody's going to submit this podcast into evidence one day.
One can only hope that pandering to that, at least she gets that level of satisfaction in a video game rather than in real life, right? Like, at least give that. I'm not going to say it's exactly, it's not the same, but
see, video games don't cause violence. Video games stop violence.
Exactly. That's the point I'm getting at.
Because we can go take it out on the video game as opposed to having to take it out on the real people that irritate the crap out of us, and we wish we just didn't have to deal
niche
with
collection. Niche
collection.
All I'm saying is this type of niche collection may or may not be a means of survival.
Yes. and not for your wife, but for everybody in her orbit.
Exactly. See, I'm looking out for all y'all.
This is why I watch almost exclusively comedy films and bubblegum action films, and I stay away from any films that are heavy drama or horror or like murder mystery stuff. Even though my wife tries to cram them down my throat, I don't want to awaken those desires. But anyway. So did you find this group of games?
We happened. Okay, so the first time we learned about them, and we learned how rare they were and how sought after they were and all that kind of stuff. But we don't care about how rare or sought after something is. It's how good it is. That's the point. We want to know that we're going to enjoy the hell out of this thing. We're not going to keep it in, like, we bought stuff that's in cellophane wrapping as collectors. Fuck that. We're going to open it up. We're going to play it because we want to see the game. Like, we at least pop these discs in, at least discs or games in or whatever. We at least pop them in at least once. We make sure that we're going to get our money's worth if we're going to get a game, we're going to play it. But these ones were ones that we knew were good, were ones that we knew actually are part of a game series. The Chronicles games thing, right? We're eventually going to be recording these and putting them out as Chronicles series because they're related to each other, not like, different franchises or whatever, but single franchises. Like, we're going to play Resident Evil, just like we're playing the Zelda series now and all that. I'm not trying to pitch our channel, but the reason why we go after these games...
Pitch away.
Oh, well, thank you. The reason why we go after these is because we want to play the legit disc copies. You could go on the internet and find copies of this stuff if you want. If you have to, you could, I guess, but we would much rather be legit about it. So that's what we're doing. But these ones were ones that we knew of for years, and we happened to find them at a place. There's a place called Fair Game that we go to, and they specialize in video game swapping. Swapping, video game reselling, right? That's what they do. But the way that they treat their stuff is high level. Like, they do disc repair if something comes in scratched. They make sure everything is as clean as they possibly can be. They price things based on whether or not they've got manual and box art and all this kind of stuff. But they make sure that the stuff they have is as top-notch as it could possibly be. So we know we're getting something good. It's been tested. We know that we're getting something that works. So, and they've got guarantees behind that and all that. And so it was worth the money that we put out there, because otherwise we'd be spending 125% of that same price we got there if we go to a con somewhere and somebody, selling a used disc copy that doesn't have access to those kinds of materials and that ability to test them. We just have to, you go to a table at a con, a game trading con or something like that, and hope that it works when you take it home and you've already paid too much for it. That happens all the time. So yeah, that's actually what we like to do. But yeah, like I said, I didn't mean to hijack your conversation, but I totally understand where you're coming from.
This is part of the thing of, I don't know if it may be a generational thing that we do this research and seek these things out and have the instead of just having that impulse buy of something, oh, this looks cool, let's get it. The idea that we do some research, and maybe generational. It may also have to do with the social class that we were brought up in. I know both of us were brought up in households that didn't necessarily have a lot of money, so we really had to think about purchases that we made. I remember one year having to make the choice at Christmas over a brand new PlayStation with the one game that it came with and the one controller that it came with, or a Sega Genesis, which was at that point the behind system, a Sega Genesis with the game it came with, 3 extra games, and another controller. That was my choice at Christmas.
Yeah, it sounds like a better deal to me. Like, I would have taken that Genesis any day of the week. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I got the Genesis, even though the PlayStation was the cool thing to get. That was kind of the real start, the real genesis, if you will, of my buying game systems, usually one generation of consoles behind. And I've done that since. And why it took me so long, even though I'm a huge fan of Xbox as a gaming platform. I own like 3 or 4 Xbox 360s, including an R2-D2 one, which is beautiful. I love Xbox. It has one of my favorite games of all time. We discussed that on our favorite games, our favorite things, I think, podcast episode. It has Halo, which is I love Halo. I love almost every iteration until 343 Studios took over from Bungie. Then they kind of messed up the story a little bit, but whatever. That's the story for another day.
Okay, but, and you know what, that would, that's, so you know where I'm coming from with all of that.
I know exactly where you're coming from.
Yeah.
But you see, again, normally I spend a lot of time thinking about my purchases, but this item, these what was the item again, Mike? Remind me, what was the item we're talking about originally? The clothing item.
Oh, I was going to say it was the Crocs, right? Yeah.
Yes. By the way, I know.
Were you doing that to make sure that I remembered what the conversation was?
No.
Because I can understand if you did, because that is a tendency of mine to forget. So
no,
I'll confess to that.
I was doing that because I wanted you to say Crocs again. I specifically was asking so that you had to say Crocs again.
Fantastic.
Anyway, this is one of those few items that I didn't sit and think and agonize for very long over. I did have impulse buy. And so as we're heading off to the store for our weekly stuff, our shopping session, and we're going to another mall, what I like to refer to in the Sacramento area as the Scary Mall, because that's where we went. We went to the Scary Mall and found out that it's not as scary as we thought. It's actually fairly normal for a mall. I don't know where the reports were that we heard that was a Scary Mall. It's the one that's near your job.
Yes, and understandable. It's called the Scary Mall. The reason why it's called the Scary Mall is because before everything shut down, it's not in technically the best part of town, and I can attest to that because of where I work. But like multiple shootings happened at that mall. What's crazy is you walk inside and it's gorgeous on the inside. Like the layout of it.
It's wonderful.
It's very, I don't want to say it's welcoming, but it feels very It feels very Metropolis to me. I don't know. It's space age.
I like it. I like it better than the just the one time being there. I liked it better than going to the big one in Roseville. And the big one in Roseville.
For sure. The big one in Roseville feels like chaos. Like I walk into the Roseville store and it's an anxiety attack as soon as you walk in.
But that other one felt really nice, and we had a good experience.
Yeah.
And so I was
should we continue to be cryptic, or should we just like name it out? Like everybody knows we're in the Sacramento area. Okay. So we're talking about the Arden Fair Mall. My other job, my job,
is close to there.
Yeah, is close to that area. So the Arden Fair Mall feels much more welcoming. And I also there's a nostalgia factor to me too, because I remember when the record stores used to be in there and all that kind of stuff, and that's when it was real fun.
Oh God, the Tower store there was amazing.
The Tower store is fantastic, and the FYE wasn't half bad neither. They were both really cool.
But
they were
huge. They had a bunch of different stores there that I used to really love. I shopped there all the time in my early adulthood, 18, 19, 20. I wish I had known the shortcut that I know to get there now. Because if you try to drive, if you're coming from where I live, north of
you're taking all the highway, and it takes like an hour.
You have to do the 80 corridor, and it's death. You know what the key is?
Where are you going?
Garden Highway to I-5.
Garden
Highway to I-5.
Garden.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It bypasses everything. I can get from my front door to Arden Fair Mall in 35 minutes if it's not a heavy traffic day.
That's fantastic.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So anyway, we went on our trip there, and I went to Arden Fair Mall for a specific reason, and the reason was Arden Fair Mall has one thing has the only one of these in the Sacramento area that I could find, and that is a Croc store
dedicated to Crocs.
Dedicated completely to Crocs. And we're going to talk about that when we come back from break.
That sounds fantastic. Okay.
We'll be back to talk about James's Croc experience in just a moment.
All right.
Hey friends, this is Mike from the Xennial Chronicles reminding you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Xencron, spelled Xenchron, to keep up to date on all things TXC. And please check out our official website, theXennialChronicles.com, or if that's too much to type, Xencron.com. Thanks again for listening, and now, back to the show.
And we're back, everybody.
Okay.
I just want to note my dedication to this, to doing this podcast right now. The football game that is happening today, the Niners versus the Eagles, has just started. I'm looking at my clock to see that it's just started. I am recording it because I can do that.
Okay.
We're in the modern age where I just push a button and it records it from on my cable.
Wonderful.
But this is my
cable?
dedication. Yes, this is my. I have
the
cable.
modern age of talking about cable. Everybody's streaming.
I have cable still.
You still have cable?
Even modern? Yeah. I have cable.
Shit! I haven't had cable since I've moved out of my house. I've never had cable.
We have a grandparent living in the house, so of course we have cable.
That is a fair point.
Plus football.
Understood.
I know that there are apps where you can watch live sports nowadays. I understand and get that, but plus which will become relevant which will become relevant at some point. Being able to see live newscasts on TV. Again, I know you can see them on the website for the news organizations, but live newscasts on TV can be very helpful and important, especially if you are somewhat involved in the information of the live newscast. So,
fair.
Anyway, back to James's what's the word I want to use? Pilgrimage to the Croc store. At this point, I only own the pair of cheap Crocs that I got from Dollar General and the one pair of Crocs I ordered on. Now, of course, being a new devotee to Crocs, and I want to make sure this is clear. Just like you were talking about, in the first half, you don't get the games because they're popular or because that's something people should have as part of their collection.
Absolutely not.
Because you love them. I'm not wearing Crocs because it's a popular thing, because it's really not.
I was going to say, I don't think Crocs are particularly they had their time 12 years ago.
Exactly.
They broke. They were like the Ugg boots of their time, and Ugg boots came out close to the same time, and Ugg boots are fucking horrible.
Yeah, it's this is not a popularity thing. This is not a to fit in thing.
No,
this is two things. This is one, they really are comfortable. They really, really are. Two,
I can understand that. For me, it's personally a fashion thing. I get it, but at the same time, it's one of those things that I'm just like.
There's another thing about it too.
Things.
There's another thing about it too. You wear pants far more often than I do.
Fair.
I wear shorts.
Fair point.
I don't go around naked. I wear shorts. But you wear pants far more often than I do, and so Crocs.
That'd be fucking. I wished that you just like took it to the nuclear degree there. Just be like, you wear pants, I dangle.
I don't dangle, thank you very much. I wear my Duntadas, but that's a whole different story. That's a reference to the movie Blue Crush. If you don't know, go watch the movie. Be disappointed by the movie, but then you'll know what Duntadas are.
Oh my god, that's where you got that from?
I believe it's Blue Crush. Isn't that the surfing one with?
It's one of them.
With oh gosh, what's her name? Kate Bosworth.
Did that come out like 2001?
No, maybe it isn't Blue
99?
Crush. No, it's not Blue Crush. Maybe it's Blue Crush. Crap, I don't even remember which one it is now. Maybe I'm completely wrong. It's the one with Kate Bosworth where she's a surfer in Hawaii.
I think I know which one you're talking about. Are you looking up too?
I'm looking it up.
Okay.
I'll try to look it up. My thing's not wanting to look it up. My thing is not wanting to look it up. Why?
No, you're right. It's Blue Crush.
It is Blue Crush. Okay.
Oh my god. Okay, so what? Somebody completely out of the. Oh my gosh. Oh wow. There is apparently Amazon for $15 has a has a triple feature: Blue Crush, Honey, and Josie and the Pussycats all in one package.
I have that actually.
You have the triple feature?
I do.
I figured you'd have those individually. No, the one I was laughing at was there is a. Okay, I looked up I literally Googled Kate Bosworth surf movie. Blue Crush was the second one that showed up.
What's the first one?
The first one was a parody. It's like one of those terrible, terrible like mashup parody movies, like Scary Movie or I wouldn't say like Airplane, but the
Epic Movie,
like Epic Movie, that shit. This one is on the vampire on the Twilight series. It's called Breaking Wind.
Oh, okay.
It has the only one that I can see. The only one on the top billing on the top of the case that is listed as a star is Danny Trejo.
Oh God!
And I will see it because of Danny Trejo. I will not see it for any other reason.
Okay.
I may or may not look that up later.
Anyway, in that movie, it's the NFL's there for the Pro Bowl in Hawaii.
Yes,
and
back to the NFL.
She ends up kind of no. This is the Duntadas thing.
Oh, the Duntadas thing.
She ends up flirting with the quarterback, one of the quarterbacks that's there, and she gives him surf lessons. Kind of falls in love with him, but doesn't. Anyway, at one point, while she's giving him surf lessons, his a couple of offensive linemen come to do the surf lessons with him. One of them is played by I believe his name is Faison Love.
Wait, that's his name?
Yes.
That's his actual name.
Yeah, Faison Love. And he's an actor.
Faison Love?
Comedian. He's an actor and comedian.
What a fucking name, dude.
He's in Elf. You'd probably know him from Elf. He's the store manager with the name tag that says Wanda. So he's a big African American dude. Like, actually, he's not even African American. He's from Cuba. But he's a big black guy, huge black guy, big guy, and his swimsuit that he wears are basically just Speedos.
Oh, this guy. Faison. Faison.
It's Faison.
Faison. I think it's Faison.
But he's basically just wearing Speedos, and he's got a pretty big gut hanging down, almost covering them Speedos.
Oh my God!
When somebody comments on his swimsuit, he's like, "They're my Duntadas," and so I wear me some Duntadas.
Oh my God! Contained. He's the one that coined. He's the one that coined the term.
Yes.
Wow.
In the movie. Anyway.
Well done.
Anyway, the original point was I wear shorts more often. Crocs work better with shorts than they do with pants, so I can understand your fashion issue with.
Yeah.
But I'm heading
Crocs
to
with pants just looks terrible. It's like
not,
wearing sandals and socks. I
can't even go to the Crocs with pants level. I have shoes for that. But with shorts, which I wear as often as humanly possible, I'm definitely rocking the Crocs. And so I'm on my pilgrimage to the only Croc store that I could find in the Sacramento area at this Arden Fair Mall. And on our way there, I've after getting the Crocs, I'd started doing research on the Crocs, and I found that there was something about them that made them more annoying to Mike and more appealing to me. And Mike didn't know he'd be annoyed by this until after I indulged in this extra Croc pleasure.
God,
as we're going through
that's
Arden
the episode
Fair,
title right there. Croc pleasure.
I think that we might have friends that might get confused. But anyway,
as cryptic as we are in many instances, do you think they aren't already used to the confusion?
They might be. So as we're going through the mall, getting ready to get to the Croc store, we come across one of the the little kiosks that are scattered throughout the mall. And this one I point out to my wife because I had told her that these special additions to Crocs had existed, and she was like, okay, whatever. She wouldn't look at the internet pictures I would try to show her from Amazon or the Croc site. But she saw the kiosk with these things, and there was both a look of excitement and horror on her face at the exact same time, because she thought, like I did, wow, this is really cool. And then she realized, oh my God, this is something my husband is going to go nuts over. And I already, by the way, she shares your she has a couple of pair of the inexpensive Crocs herself. She does like them, but she shares your kind of befuddlement with me and my obsession with it. She knows that I obsess over things like this. If I find something I love, I obsess. But at the same time, she's like, of all the things you can obsess about, that's what you're obsessing about? Okay.
It's good to know I'm not the only one. Like, it really is.
Actually, almost everybody I've shown pictures of the Crocs to have also given me the weirdest looks. But anyway, I understand that.
I could see every single person you text those pictures to, and they're just like, why?
Well, I'll explain why. So what I'm speaking of, for people who aren't in the know, well, you kind of know, this was a kiosk of Jibbitz.
The fuck is a Jibbit?
Jibbitz. It's not Jibbit. It's Jibbitz. It's the name. The actual name of it is always plural. Of course, it has a Z on the end too, which makes it worse.
In the name of proper English, what the fuck are Jibbits?
Jibbitz are Croc charms. These are little rubber charms that you can that have a little grommet on the end of it that you put into the holes on the Croc, and it holds these charms in place.
I was wondering how those worked. Okay, because I said it was funny because I showed my wife the picture, right? The picture that you sent me with all the
Don't give too much away. I'm leading to the story.
I was wondering how you could fit your feet in those, because the first thing I thought was they were. Well, I'll wait.
Yeah, they have.
Describe what they. I think I understand. I'm not saying any. I hope I'm not saying too much. You continue, and then I will follow up.
They're basically they're made of rubber, very much like the Crocs are, and they have coming out the back of them. They have like the button on your jeans. Right, if you got the button fly or just the top button on the jeans, there's the part that's the cut in the jeans that slips over the button of the jean, right?
Okay,
and it has a cylinder that comes up and then a flat piece, flat top to it, right?
Right.
That's attached to the back of these rubber charms, and so the holes that are in the top of the Crocs, you push it into the hole on the top of the Croc, and the flat part basically is inside the shoe, but it's very flat, so you don't feel it on the top of your foot, and it holds the charms in place. But they do have a specific name. They are called Jibbitz. And they have a plethora of these. They have, of course, all
Of
the
course
letters,
they do.
all of the numbers, all kinds of pop culture things. You can get hamburgers, tacos. You can get Marvel figures, DC figures,
Of course.
Star Wars figures.
Oh boy. Okay.
And I had been researching this and I had realized, this is why I was going to the Croc store. I had realized that I could achieve 2 of my childhood dreams. I had one of those dreams I achieved when I was a kid, but they were crappily made, as most things, back in like the 80s and 90s when we had officially licensed NFL products, they were made shitty. I mean, go watch any films of the NFL during the 80s and 90s and anytime before that. Their jersey, the jerseys that the players wore even crappy jerseys. I mean, the old 49er jerseys were just white jerseys with what looked like red tape for the numbers. They were awful. They weren't stitched on. They were awful looking jerseys. So cheap and chintzy, and it was the NFL. And guess what? They were cheap and chintzy back then. And all the NFL licensed product we used to buy back as kids, if we did, they were all cheap. So back when I was a kid, I had 49er shoes. They were supposedly leather. I'm not sure what leather they were, but they were supposedly leather. And they fell apart within like 3 weeks. Now, keep in mind, I could usually make shoes last for a year. These shoes fell apart in 3 weeks. They were garbage because a lot of NFL products back then were garbage until it really gained a lot of steam and became the powerhouse that the NFL is nowadays. Now their products are really good, but like super fucking expensive. I mean, it's like $300 for a jersey with the numbers stitched on. And I'm sorry, I won't buy a jersey unless my numbers are stitched on. Just saying. I want a high quality jersey. I don't want the taped on freaking the vinyl on numbers. No, you're sewing my numbers on.
Good God. That is
sorry. I like my jerseys.
No, I understand. It's just like super up there, like $400.
Yeah, it can be.
Okay, I will say this. I overpay for video games. I know I do. So I can't necessarily I would say I would be hypocritical. I will call myself out as hypocritical as being glad that I missed that boat, because I could have at one point been a pretty rabid football fan, but I just kind of missed it. It never caught my interest, and I'm very glad that I don't spend that kind of money on a jersey. But I also like I said, I'll call myself out. I spend a stupid amount of money on video games. You know what I mean?
I understand that, and they do make shoes, 49er shoes for adults nowadays, but like slippers, just like slippers, house shoes and shit, they can cost between $20 and $50 depending on where you buy them. You can get them at Walmart, the cheap ass ones at Walmart for $20.
For $20? Okay, $20 49er slippers I can understand.
And you can buy real shoes that are like in the $100 range, which isn't really bad for shoes.
Yeah, I was going to say shoes tend to, if you're, I will say this. I buy cheap ass shoes all the time. It's a mistake. Like,
it is.
Don't buy cheap ass shoes. As somebody who constantly buys cheap ass shoes, because I have a problem with budgeting for my own shoes, which again, I will call out my own hypocrisy here. But I will state right now that if you're not, like, I have bought shoes, like, I bet you the absolute bare minimum for an okay pair of shoes is like $60. And I say 60 because that's the lowest grade of Converse All-Stars that you can get that will at least hold up and be comfortable.
Hold on. I thought we were talking about good shoes.
Well, fuck you. Chucks are the shit. I love Chucks. I am somebody who's flat-footed, so I love Chucks. They work real well with my feet.
This is one of my problems is typically when you're trying to find shoes that are themed shoes of any type, you know, the Star Wars shoes that have been made, the Metallica shoes that have been made.
Oh yeah.
The whatever shoes that have gotten some kind of a cool thing. One of the most common shoe companies that has those, and almost all these shoes are made by this, get made with this company, are Converse. And
those are easily double priced. Those are easily double priced every time you see licensed shoes like that. They're $120.
The problem is I can't wear Converse. They're the most uncomfortable fucking shoes. I hate them. I hate them with the fire of 1,000 suns. I hate Converse shoes.
Says the Crocs guy.
and it's not about the style of them. People can like the style, and I'm cool with other people having them. I will never wear them. I wore them one day, and I had to buy 2 sizes too big to wear for your wedding, because that's the only way that my feet could fit into them.
Oh man,
they were 2 sizes too big. They are the most uncomfortable shoes I've ever had on.
Must have fucking hated it when I said that was the theme, because you're just like
totally
casual, formal, or whatever. Like, yeah, we did basically totally similar to what I was doing for stage wear for my current band when we first started, and we got rid of that, and it was straight ties. And it was like tuxedos, but it was black chucks instead of like, because here's the thing. I did that because I absolutely hate dress shoes. Dress shoes always dress shoes. What are you doing?
Oh, I get you.
You're spending as much as you would spend for a pair of chucks to rent a pair of dress shoes that feel like ass, and you're going to walk and dance around in that bullshit for like 6 hours? Hell no.
I get
Those
you.
are terrible. And if you fuck them up, you're paying for them when you bring them back.
I get you. Dress shoes aren't comfortable, but like I'd wear dress shoes over Converse any day, personally.
I can understand that. I can understand that. I think this is just a difference in foot shape, because I love the hell out of chucks.
It is. Yeah. Do you have thin feet, skinny feet?
I don't have skinny feet. I have flat feet.
I have,
and I get a size bigger than my regular shoe size. Like I'm like between a 9 and a 9.5 on average. But the cons I get are 10s because they fit the shape of my foot when I step down.
Yeah, I have a wide foot, so that's why they're.
If you have a wide foot, chucks will just squeeze your feet.
Yeah,
really bad. You'll get like nasty aches in the arch of your foot.
Yeah, it's like the newer Vans. You remember when I used to be like a hardcore Vans guy? And it was always the Vans skate shoes, even though I can't skate to save my life.
Oh no! Skate shoes are dude. Skate shoes were amazing.
Because
back in the day, skate shoes were so good.
They're so comfortable, and they had such a wide base. And now all that Vans sells are the skinny base shoes, and I can't wear any of them.
That sucks.
And it pisses me off. But again,
Vans were so good back in the day.
They were
the shoes to get.
I found this love of Crocs, and so again, we come upon the kiosk for the Jibbitz, and again, the wife is kind of looking at it and going, "Oh my god, I can see this being a huge deal." And then we finally get to the Sacred Croc store. And
wait, hold on. The Jibbitz were not in the Croc store. They were a kiosk. You said
they had Jibbitz in the store as well, but they also had a kiosk. The kiosk was downstairs on the bottom floor. The Croc store is on the top floor with a big table of Jibbitz inside the store. Big round table that had compartments in it for all the different Jibbitz. So we get to the Croc store, and I am utterly disappointed.
Whoa! That is not the direction I expected.
They have a decent selection, but all the ones that I was interested in, they didn't have in my size, and they had only one really there to get. I was really looking to get one specific color of Crocs that day. One specific color. What color was it, Mike? Let's see how well you know me. What color Crocs was I?
100%. You were looking to get purple. You needed purple Crocs.
I needed purple Crocs.
Yep.
And they had one pair of purple Crocs, not my size.
Wrong size.
Not my size, and only one pair.
Can you order?
Well, you could have, but why would I order through them when I can order online?
This is true. But being able to at least having the option of getting purple Crocs in your size is not. This is the first question I had. Was being able to get them is not it's not unachievable, right?
No, it's not unachievable. It just didn't happen that day.
I understood.
It didn't happen. It didn't happen at that moment,
dude. Okay, the buildup that you had getting up to that point, it would have been like you shopped that. Like, I'm just calling it out right now. You shopped that like you would have walked into that store, and it would have been like the fucking Seas party, or like Brendan Fraser shoots the mirror in The Mummy, and you see the giant treasure trove room after your trip there.
It would have been a moment. It literally would have been a moment, because I was wearing my black Crocs that I have. I was wearing those, the ones I sent you the pictures of last night. I was wearing those to the store, and I would have literally taken my black ones off and put the purple ones on and walked out the store with the purple ones, black ones in the bag. I would have been like, I'm wearing these out. That's what it would have been.
Oh yeah.
That's what it would have been. Well. They didn't have my purple ones. I did find a pair of gray with kind of a blue line on the sole. That was ones that I had been looking at.
Oh, that's fun.
And they were on the 50% off rack. So I got those for 50% off, and they were in my size. So I snagged up those. And then I said, you know what? This gives me an opportunity. What these shoes give me is they give me the opportunity to have what I still would wear as an adult. I would still wear Star Wars themed shoes. You know I would.
Yes.
You know, if I could get shoes that had Darth Vader on them, I would wear shoes with Darth Vader on them.
Absolutely.
And I would wear them proudly. I would show that shit off.
Yes.
I would be wearing Star Wars socks. I would be wearing a pair of shorts that match the colors of whatever Star Wars shirt that I was wearing. I'd be wearing my Star Wars hat.
Absolutely.
And that's just I have no shame when it comes to those things. If it's Star Wars, if it's 49ers, I will wear it. I don't care. Hell, if it's Marvel, I'll wear all that stuff too. All matching. I mean, if I'm wearing a Marvel t-shirt, most likely I'm wearing a Marvel socks to go with it.
Fair.
I mean, that's just how I do the thing. Well, I got these. I started looking through all of the Jibbitz, and I found some cool Jibbitz. I found some numbers that I liked. I found a couple of little, I found little ones that are footballs. I'm like, ooh, that's nice. I like football. I can grab those. I found skull and crossbones, and again, skulls is another thing that I have everywhere, right? I mean, I have them on my neck. What do you expect?
Yep.
Flames, which flames rhymes with James, so you got to get that.
Again, flames on your neck.
And flames on all the shirts I used to wear. I mean, honestly, if somebody would have mistaken me for Guy Fieri way back in the day, even now sometimes, it would be understandable. It would be completely understandable. I could play his brother.
I was gonna say, when I first saw Guy Fieri like that long after, because didn't he like majorly
James?
break years? Like, yeah, I was like, dude, did James like clone himself and turn into a fucking chef? Like, what the hell's going on here?
I had the same thought first time I saw him. Like, what the fuck is that dude doing being me? Why is that fucker me? Seriously. Yeah. With the blonde, especially with the blonde highlights.
The blonde highlights and the fucking goatee, the glasses, the shirt. I was like, what the fuck, man?
But as hipster as it sounds, another thing I did first. But anyway, I
dressed like Guy Fieri first is one of the things you can claim.
Before he dressed like that, I did. And admittedly, if I ever had the opportunity to meet him, I'd be trying to find the pictures and be like, bitch, I was this in like 99, 2000, so you stole my look. But hey, you ran with it, so that's awesome.
Wouldn't it be fucking hilarious if Guy Fieri, like, if somebody asked him, like, how did you put the look together? He was like, well, I met this guy at Blockbuster in, like, 2000. And he's just, I just really liked his look. And I was like, you know what, man? Yeah, I think I could run with that.
Then I'd be asking for my royalties.
Yeah,
that's
right.
Where's my motherfucking check?
Yeah.
Anyway, I would totally wear Star Wars shoes. And I realized with the Jibbitz, Crocs gave me the opportunity to have what I've been wanting to have for all these years. I could have Star Wars shoes. I could have 49ers shoes. Not exactly 49ers shoes, but close to 49ers shoes. And so I started gathering Jibbitz, and I started remembering some of the Jibbitz I saw online. And I made a plan. And I walked out of that store paying about $80 for all the Jibbitz that I bought and the pair of shoes that I got.
How much are these Jibbitz a piece?
$5 unless you buy multiples, then you get discounts.
Oh, you get discounts for bulk Jibbitz.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
At the store, at the Croc store. However, if you order them online, if they're grouped together in a specific grouping style, like Star Wars ones or Marvel ones or DC ones, you can get like 12 of them for $16. So you can get
that's pretty good. Yeah,
when you're buying multiples and stuff like that.
Themed Jibbit. Sorry, yes. I'm having too much fun saying that now. Just themed Jibbit groups.
What's funny about this? What's funny about this is now Mike is going to just throw Jibbitz into conversations at different points. It's going to be in his head, and then at some point he's going to be like, "Damn it, James! All I can think about is freaking Jibbitz for Crocs. I hate you."
No. I honestly would just like greet you one day, just like, "Sir, how are the new Jibbitz?" Because something tells me you're just going to completely.
Well,
you're going to keep buying Jibbitz. It's going to be a regular deal.
I will, but you're getting ahead of the story. So,
okay.
I was disappointed.
Sorry.
We went and did our other rounds for the night. got our pizza for the night, because that's the big Saturday night thing, is making sure we get our pizza.
Okay.
Can't be without our pizza.
Of course.
And which is, that the pizza is in your neck of the woods.
Yes.
But we go through all of that, and I get home, and I'm like, I'm still fixating on I didn't get my shoes. And so I start checking online. I find the Star Wars Jibbitz I want. I find and I'd gotten some numbers. I wanted some shoes that had the number 7 on them. And each shoe had a number 7 on them, because 7's my favorite number.
Yes.
I also got the numbers 8 and 0. Now, people might think it's because I was born in 1980. That's not the real reason I got them. I was looking to make football shoes, and my favorite football player of all time was Jerry Rice.
Yep.
And he was number 80. And so I'm thinking about the Star Wars shoes, football shoes, and I'm looking at Crocs online, and I find the purple ones I want. But I find another pair of purple ones that are kind of a little bit better purple color. They're slightly different style. They're the traditional style Crocs, and the other ones that the black ones that I had and these blue ones that I picked up are not the traditional style. The traditional style have right where the top of the shoe meets the sole of the shoe.
Mm-hmm.
They have the holes all the way around, right?
Right.
The ones that I have bought, they don't have the holes all the way around there. They have a little bit thicker sole, and they have like my black ones have a thick white stripe and then a black stripe in the middle of it, like a black line in the middle of it. So they almost look like the soles for some of the old skate shoes.
Oh, okay.
And so the gray ones that I got, they just had a gray stripe and then like a blue line on the toe, just along the toe. But they don't have the holes connected where the top of the shoe connects to the sole of the shoe. They're more solid. And so it's a slightly different look. And so I found some purple ones that had that. They had the big white kind of banding around the sole, and then a black line around it. So those are pretty cool. Then I found the traditional purple with the holes all the way around, and the purple was more vibrant. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna ask the wife. The wife said, go with the more vibrant one. That's I like that look better.
Cool.
All right.
Cool.
Then I found some red ones that had the white stripe around the sole, and then the white band around the sole, and then a black stripe on it. I'm like, the red, the white, and the black, those would be some good 49ers. So I showed her those. She's like, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you got the bonus. It's okay. Showed her the Star Wars Jibbitz. Showed her the other few ones that I found. And on top of going to the Croc store and buying my getting that one pair there that was half off and some Jibbitz there, I ordered online 2 more pairs of Crocs and more Jibbitz. So now, sir,
My God,
I am the proud owner of the one pair of Dollar General Crocs that are just my walk around the house shoes, but four pairs of actual Crocs, 2 of which are my Star Wars ones. My black ones became my basically Empire New Order Sithy ones.
okay.
They both have the little flame charms, and then the right pair, the right foot has Darth Vader and Darth Maul. The left foot has Kylo Ren and Captain Phasma.
Nice.
So and admittedly, the black of all of those characters kind of gets soaked up a little with the black of the shoes, but I don't care. It has to be black because it's Sith. Could have been red.
Right. Yeah.
My gray and blue ones that I got at half off have Baby Yodas on them, Grogu, if you will, which I did get at the Croc store. I got 2 Grogu Jibbitz. They each have Grogu on them, and then the
only
right
time
shoe,
that the term Grogu Jibbitz makes any sense.
Yes. Well, not really.
Sounds
Could
like we're
talking about his Happy John. But anyway,
although Grogu Jibbitz just sounds like a Star Wars character on its own.
It really does. It sounds like that's I didn't know that was Grogu's last name.
Grogu Jibbitz.
I didn't think that species had a last name. I mean, Yoda's just Yoda.
Yeah.
What's Yoda's last name? And Yaddle was just Yaddle, and yes, there was a Yaddle. Scary enough. But so the right shoe on that one has Rey, Poe Dameron, Finn, and Chewbacca. And the left shoe has C3PO, R2D2 because you have to have R2D2, BB-8, and Yoda, original Yoda.
Wow.
So those are my light side shoes, and they're in a kind of
Okay.
a gray, which kind of the gray color, the gray and the blue kind of takes you back to X-wing fighters and
For
that
sure.
kind of a thing.
For sure.
And then my red shoes, which I actually have on right now, because even though I'm not watching the game, it is game day.
It is game day. They are your new superstition, I'm sure.
They are one of them. I there's my game day hat as well.
Ah, yes.
Even if they don't work, they're still always going to be my game day shoes because that's just what they're going to be. I have footballs on either one of those.
Nice.
I ordered some Flash Jibbitz. There it was a 4-pack that had 2 little flashes in it and then 2 little of the Flash shields.
Nice.
Right, his logo.
Yeah.
And I have a shield and the little flash on each one because Jerry Rice used to call himself Flash 80. So I threw the flash on there.
Nice.
And then I have on my right shoe I have an 8. On my left shoe I have a 0.
Nice.
For 80.
For
So when
80.
they come together, you can see it's 80.
Yep.
And they have the numbers have the drop shadow just like the 94 jerseys did, the best jerseys they ever wore, which by the way, they brought back recently the white jerseys from that time period.
Oh, cool.
But this year they're bringing back the red jerseys with the drop shadow. They will be in the red jerseys with the drop shadow.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm so excited. They're my favorite jerseys. So good. And again, so on them numbers. And then what will become my regular daily wear, not when I'm at work, but outside of work. These are the ones. Now, I'll get to the next point in a moment. These are the ones that I will wear all the time when I'm not trying to coordinate with clothing to wear the different Star Wars ones, or it's not Sunday and I'm wearing the day or Thursday, whichever night they're playing, and I'm not wearing the 49ers ones. These are my wear all the time ones, and that would be the Holy Grail purple ones. And the purple ones, they each have a number 7 on them. They each have a skull and crossbones on them. The right shoe has a yin yang, which yin yangs are cheesy and from the 90s, but they also represent balance. And I have some tattoos that represent balance. And so I like it on there. And then on the left foot, I have a little one that says I put a spell on you. And for anybody that knows me well enough, they'd understand the connotation of that. So those are my purple ones. They're my regular wear. I have that's 2 purple shoes that I have now. I have purple Vans and now my purple Crocs.
Nice.
And I'm a happy person.
Nice.
I then had a problem of these other shoes, the 49er ones and the 2 Star Wars ones. They're not only are they comfortable shoes, but I almost think that they're almost like works of art. And I wanted to be able to display them in my house where people could see them beyond me wearing them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
My wife lovingly made some room right near our front door, right where everybody would have to walk past them, for them to be almost at shoulder level for people to be able to see, because she knows how proud I am.
You have a Croc shrine on at your front walkway?
Near my front door,
inside
yes. Inside the house, near my front door, there is a Croc shrine.
That's fucking great.
Everybody has to walk past it to see it. And it's amazing. It's amazing. I love my Crocs. So that is my Croc story. That is what happened with Crocs. The funny thing is, I didn't even get to the other parts of the story that I was going to. So those are going to have to wait till our next episode.
Oh man, there's more. But wait, there's more.
Oh yes, there's more. So for this episode, I can say I went on a Crocs adventure. I am the proud owner now of four official Crocs, and I couldn't be happier. And to your point of new Jibbitz, there are still more Crocs that I want to buy. Do you know why?
Because you're crazy?
Colors. There's that. I will admit to that, but they have more colors. And they have more Jibbitz. I can get Avengers shoes. I can get DC shoes.
Oh my god.
Yes, sir. I can customize shoes however I want them to be in whatever colors. I can get blue ones. I can get green ones. I don't really want to get yellow ones, but I could. I could get any colors that I wanted to match anything that I'm wearing.
Oh boy.
And I will, Mike.
I will
get my Crocs. And they're not just going to be naked, unadorned Crocs. I will have my Jibbitz. Anyway, Mike.
That is a great way to end this episode.
Where might people be listening to me talk about my Jibbitz?
God. Sorry, that one got me. Well, you guys could be listening to us on our website, theXennialChronicles.com or ZenChron.com. Catch us also on most of the major podcast platforms. If you search for us on your favorite podcast platform, we will most likely be there. And you can also check us out on YouTube as well. You search for the Xennial Chronicles on YouTube. You'll find us there. We are trying to get our way up to our first 100 subs. So please, if you're listening to us, if you are even listening to us on the podcast, go to our YouTube page, find us. Please hit the subscribe button when you can. And also, if you're listening to us on a video, this is not an actual video, but it's being uploaded as a YouTube video. We are working on getting video. But if you're listening to us with the video stream on YouTube, please hit the like button. Boy, that was a roundabout way to say that. Please hit the like button. Make sure that you're subscribing if you haven't already. And there's another thing to do real quick. James, what is that?
Well, here's the thing. I'm sure people are intrigued by James's Croc journey. I'm sure they want to know when James gets more Crocs. I'm sure they really want to know when James gets his Jibbitz.
I think Mike is wondering why James is talking about himself in the third person.
Because Mike just did? I don't know. I was prognosticating that you would. Anyway, when people want to know these things, they're going to have a way to be notified.
Yes.
That these things are happening. And there's only one way to get notified.
Only one.
Click the bell.
Yes, that's right. Make sure you click the bell. So like he said, you get notified. That way the next podcast that comes out, you can hear it on YouTube. And on top of that, you can listen to all of our entire archive of podcasts that we've ever had come out, because every one of them is on our YouTube channel. And if we don't have a podcast, and sometimes we don't, we will throw a video update, just like we were talking about at the beginning of the episode. So
last week,
that's when you will see it. You will see it there. So please follow us on YouTube if you haven't already.
And I believe you get notified for those too when those come.
You do. You get notified when those videos legit come out as well.
And while you're there on YouTube checking us out, make sure check out Mike's two other YouTube pages. The first one we referenced a little bit in this episode, Chronosode Games.
Yes.
Where oh wait, you already referenced it. I don't need to say more.
Oh, okay,
cool. And the other one would be his music page, Ruling Note Music. This is where Mike talks about everything music, some gear discussion, history of music stuff. Check both of those out. Subscribe, like, click the bell on those two so you get notified, because they got stuff coming out from those all the time. On the Chronosode Games one, you get to hear Mike do funny voices. It's hilarious. So thank you all
especially
for
on Twitch. Yeah.
So thank you all for listening, and we'll be back again next week.
Y'all have a good one.
Thank you for tuning in, friends. The journey continues next week.